Hi, how are you doing? Well, I'm a little excited right now because today I would like to tell you about the beginnings from my healing journey. And um, the beginning is how I got sick. So I've got to tell you a little bit about my sickness journey. And I will start 15 years ago, 2008. I was 30 years old and I had come to Germany, in, to Bavaria, a small Franconian city called Bamberg, where I wanted to study cultural heritage conservation. I had studied architecture in Spain, in Barcelona, and I wanted to specialize in this field. And yeah, I was at the best from life. I was living my dream right now. Um, I think I saw myself as a healthy person. It was true. I caught a cold once or twice a year, and I have menstrual pain, and later on ringing in the ears and eye floaters. And I had a very trying and tiring study. I had spent 9 years finishing my degree. But right then, 2008, I was able to go abroad and study again, which I hope would give me the education to work in Spain again in this field. And it was also a tiring time for me, full me with challenges. I had to do a lot of German exams, but I managed it and I was enjoying it really well. And I had found what I thought would be my professional special area. It's called Bauforschung, or building investigation. But you don't investigate a murder, but you investigate how an old building, a monument, has been built, and what for materials and different how do you say, steps, how it was built and changed during the years. And I was told I had talent for it, to do some hand drawing and work in situ. And I really liked it. Although I must say, I usually worked on dark, cold places, not very clean, but it was what I liked to draw. And yeah, and I had to do this 1.5 year study, and then a final assignment. 6 months after beginning, I started noticing the first symptoms, and I would like to subclassify my sickness journey in 3 turning points. This was the first turning point, the onset from fatigue. I noticed I needed to lay down. I made a practice of taking breakfast at bed on Sunday and just sitting there and I bought myself a portable table where I could have breakfast and work with my computer while laying in bed. And that was the first thing. And then I finished all the exams and I had to do the final assignment in the Bauforschung, building investigation. My tutor and mentor found an object for me. I was to document, to complete a measurement of a Gothic tower in Bamberg from a church. The church is called the Oberpfarrer. I will be posting, adding some pictures so that you can make a better idea of it. And yeah, I would also like to show you what I was doing there. This is from my drawings there. Yes, to draw the stones and the materials and make some notes how it was all built. My tutor thought that was okay for one person, but it turned out it was it should have been there was work enough for two persons. And yeah, I noticed 2 months after starting this, I noticed I had trouble climbing up the stairs. I ended up very, very tired and I had to rest. And then, of course, it was fall and it was cold, and I had to go to the toilet and stairs downstairs and and again stairs hook upstairs. Yeah, this tower was 50-60 meter high. Yeah, and I had a fatigue. I felt a strong fatigue for a couple of weeks, and I noticed it was in my upper back. I felt as if it couldn't carry me, and I only became relief while laying down. I had to do that for a couple of weeks. But somehow I managed to go through this. I gave my final assignment and obtained my degree, and I went to the doctor, but she couldn't find anything. My blood work was fine. And then I was also confronted with what should I do professionally. I had thought while returning to Spain and find work in this area in heritage conservation, but right then 2008-9 there was the bank and financial crisis in Spain, and architects were not needed. Architects were not needed, and so I decided to remain a couple of years in Germany and gain some practice in this Bauforschung. Yeah, my tutor recommended me to become a freelance, and because there were people search for these assignments, and you usually give an offer and for an assignment. And in my gut, I knew this is not right for me, because I knew I do good work, but I need time. I take my time. And but of course, in an offer, the cheapest becomes the assignment. And I knew I wouldn't be, if I wanted to obtain assignments, I had to, and my offers should be cheap. And I knew I couldn't be making a living for it, and that caused me a lot of financial stress and worries about my future. And then it came to turning point 2 in this story. I became the diagnosis endometriosis. 2 large cysts were found in my ovaries in a ultrasound. And that was a shock for me. That was the first illness I was diagnosed with. And I made a lot of thoughts about it and how could this happen, and I wanted to reverse it. Started to read a lot about it and tried to find ways of healing and ways of living with it. Sorry, I'll take some herbal tea. Yes, and I found in some books where it was recommended an anti-inflammatory diet could help with these symptoms, with these problems. And so I did. I left gluten, and I left dairy and eggs. And in this time, and it was 2012, I started a relationship with my boyfriend, who turned to be to become my husband. And yeah, I moved to his apartment. I moved to another city, and yeah, it was a happy time, but also challenging time. I was searching for a way to earn my living regularly, also as a freelance. It was better, but not ideal. The stress of writing bills and not knowing when you're going to become them paid, and to the full amount of not. Yeah. And then perhaps it had with this stress to but it had to do with this stress. But we'll come to the turning point 3. I start becoming so pressure in my thyroid, and I went to the doctor. There seemed to be a slight thyroid enlargement, and some hormones were not okay, and I also, my gene also found some breast lumps, which turned to be not dangerous, and the thyroid pressure and the blood work returned to normal, so that in the end, in spite of all my worries, all turned all right. But I kept thinking to myself, this cannot be true. How is this possible that I've got so many symptoms so quickly? I'm one person, with one body. This must all be related. But I did feel better. My I felt out better. I was able to be employed, to become a monthly salary. That was great, and we were engaged to marry the next year, and I was very, very happy. And then we come to turning point, yes, 4. I got an assignment in my at work. I had to do a measurement, but this time not by hand, but with a tachymeter, a machine, to do it with a computer. I was to do it alone, and I panicked because I hadn't done this on my own yet, and there were other workers in the building, and I was afraid it didn't work, and everybody should notice it, and we had borrowed this machine for 3 weeks, and I had to accomplish this part of the work in that time, and I managed it, but it was very, very draining and stressful. And I gave the machine away. I returned it, and then I felt very, very fatigued. I asked my boss for some weeks off from work, which he didn't. He was also he allowed that, and but it didn't help. I laid most of the time, but after 2 weeks, but it hadn't helped, and I returned to work, but I just couldn't start. I prepared my things in the morning for the day. I had to work in this building, completing the drawings, and but the energy wasn't there, and I lay down in the sofa and waited and started eating dark chocolate. And by 1 p.m., 2 p.m., it came from somewhere, some energy, and I was able to drive to the building and do a little work. Yeah, and Christmas 2015, I was really at my wit's end. I didn't know what I was missing, what I could do. So I felt happy, but I didn't have the energy. And next year I went to the doctor. He couldn't find anything, just vitamin D and vitamin B12 deficiency. And I started looking for answers for myself. That's something I've done my whole life. I've read books about holistic medicine, and I found something about Ayurveda, which I found very interesting, such a tradition, and that it looks at each patient as an individual with a nature, and also that it healing happens physically, emotionally, and spiritually. These were things I found very, very interesting. In one book I read, it was told about one woman who was underweight and had little energy, I saw myself there. I was underweight at the time. And this woman who wrote the books told her animal protein is scientifically known to be needed by each human. And that he treated this woman and who had been doing a plant-based diet, and since introducing animal products, she was doing better and regained her energy. And so I thought, yes, that's what I need. Perhaps that's the thing I was doing wrong, and I want my energy back. So I started reintroducing dairy and eggs, and I thought, and as gluten, I could as well eat gluten again, because I thought it hasn't brought anything. With the time I start feeling better, feeling more energy. But when I look back, I realize it was our wedding was getting near, and that was giving me the last adrenaline resources I had in my body for such a happy event. And it was really, really wonderful, unforgettable. We had also a wonderful honeymoon, and then I came back and I was exhausted. I had to end this job. We were to move to another city in 6 months, and I had to complete the assignments, to work all the hours I had been paid for, and it was really difficult. I became a sort of allergy to the work. I couldn't think very well, clearly. I was working so slowly. And I thank very much to Gerard and his people, how they support me. And somehow we managed it. We managed the moving to the other city and all other things. And I told to my husband, yes, I just need 3 months resting, and I will be preparing our new house or new flat and making things nice, and then I will go back to work again. But it wasn't so. In spite of resting, I wasn't becoming my energy back. And it was getting worse because I was also starting to feel sad and feeling like in a mousetrap, in a treadmill. And I had some discussions with my husband that it wasn't easy for him to see me like this, and he was also worrying. And I became the diagnosis depression, and it was recommended that I went to a psychosomatic clinic, which I did. And I started the year 2018. I wanted to change things in my life to gain my health back. I was to be at the clinic in April, but I started the year doing some yoga course, and it was also great. And I had also noticed I had more joint pain. The more dairy I ate, the more joint pain I had, and also digestive problems. So I started for myself to cut dairy back. I'm thinking that perhaps I should return to this anti-inflammatory diet after all. And well, I start noticing some pressure on my thyroid, just about the time where I should be going to the psychosomatic clinic. And I was worried I could be given thyroid medication, and I would like to know what this means and if I had some options. And I searched in internet for books, and in my Amazon research I saw this cover, Thyroid Healing from Medical Medium, and it struck me because of the artichoke. I thought, who could make a cover with an artichoke on the title, on the cover? And I know artichokes very well. In Spain, I ate lots of them. There we can eat them twice in the year. But in Germany, there's a vegetable I hadn't been seen, and it made me curious. So I started searching about it, and I read recensions, and some people were really enthusiastic, had told they had really made a difference in their health and the health of their loved ones, and they recommended reading the whole series from the books. So I ordered them. The two ones which were written before, but I didn't start reading them right then, because I was feeling fine and better, and I told myself, yes, at some point, and that's the story. I would like to tell you next time how I found this book, the first medical medium book, Secrets Behind Chronic and Mystery Illness and How to Finally Heal, the first version, and how this book was the turning point in my healing journey, and that I would like to tell you about in my next video. I would like to read your comments, to your questions about what what I have explained. If you need to would like to know a little more about something, and I'm really looking forward to the next chapter, the medical medium book, how it changed my life. See you soon. Bye.